Hey, if you're looking to improve your golf swing, but you don't have a lot of time and energy, then I want you to watch all the way through to the end, because in this video, I'm going to show you the most incredible drill. I think that this is one of the best drills in all of golf, and it actually helped a number of my students hit the ball 30 to 50 yards farther, cut their handicap darn near in half, and also allow them to hit the ball straighter than they ever thought they could. Now, this drill can be done at home. It can be done in 2, 3, 5 minutes tops, and you're going to get the most possible improvement out of the smallest amount of time and effort. Now, really, this is going to be a two-part drill. You can actually do both parts of this drill separately at first, but the real power is going to come when you combine the two of them together. Now, please stick around to the end of the video, because I'm going to show you a bonus tip or a move that goes along with this drill that will really take your swing to the next level. So whether or not you're just an average golfer or even like a struggling, plateaued, single-digit golfer, this drill is going to help you break through. Okay, we're going to start with the shallow stick drill. I'm going to put my noodle on here to protect the shaft of the club, but we've got this thing set at about 60 degrees or so, and I've got a 7-iron in my hand, and all I've got to do here is swing under and inside this noodle. Now, this is because most golfers tend to swing on top of this. The average golfer out there swings down either over the top and or steep, and you would start small here. Watch this. All I'm going to do is just make sure that I'm staying under and inside the noodle, just like that. Now, you might take 5 or 10 swings in a row and do 10 more. And again, what I would do is I would start with small swings slowly and work your way up to 10, making the swings longer each time and possibly a little bit faster too. And once you kind of get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it faster and faster. So again, something like this, just little swings at first, nice and soft. And then you might start getting, bigger and stronger, but always staying under the noodle. For the next half of the drill, we'll move that out of the way, and we're going to bring it back in later when we combo these ideas, but you just simply need either a dining room chair or a heavy patio chair. If you're at the driving range, don't worry about having to drag a chair to the driving range with you, unless it's one of those really light fold-up kind. But you could just simply put your golf bag behind you and use the driver and the 3-wood fairway covers to simulate the feeling of a chair being behind you. The pros on TV, not only do almost all of them swing under this angle here, but they also do something very specific with the hips, and that is, and let's face it this way for a second, if I were to start with my left hip up against the chair, now see where this club is. This is about 6 inches away from the edge of the chair. So if I were to start with my hip right here, the average guy on TV, so this drill is based on tour averages. So the closer that you can move like this, the more like a tour pro you're going to hit the ball. So the average tour pro is going to laterally slide or laterally shift their left hip 6 inches to the end of the chair. But furthermore, they're also going to lift the chair off the ground, so their left hip and butt cheek are actually getting deeper away from the ball by about 1 inch. So if I were to demonstrate this for you, we don't even need to use a club for this. So you might do this as drill 1B. It all will go together in the end, you'll see, but notice I'm going to leave about 5 or 6 inches off the edge of the chair here. And my goal is simply to plant the butt firmly into the chair so it's easy to monitor the pressure, and then do some simulated arm swings here. And I'm going to slide, turn, and lift. Slide, turn, and lift. And notice the leg of the chair is off the ground at the end. Slide, turn, lift, just like that. Now let's look at that from the down the line angle, now that you can see the lateral shift that's involved in a good golf swing. This is because the average golfer stands up or goes into early extension one way or another. I've got students whose butt pushes forward and they have to raise their head in response, but I also have students who keep their butts back, great, but their heads come up and back, and it's acting in essence like an early extension because they're losing that initial 30-degree bow that they started with at address. And this is going to pose massive accuracy and consistency issues for your ball flight. It's likely why you're stuck on a plateau, and it's something that you'll need to fix to go to the next level. So, just at home, 10 times. First would be 10% speed, and 1, 10%, 20%, and 2, etc., etc. By the time you get to the 10th repetition, that's all you got to do with this drill. Your hips will be absolutely flying, and you will really remember what you were doing because of the previous repetitions that you did at slower speeds have now really gotten ingrained into your mind. And 1, and 1. You really start to snap the hips. This is something Tiger Woods was very good at doing, is snapping his hips around the corner with speed, and that really gets the torso turning fast. Now, just in case you were wondering, I've got the noodle and the stick about 24 inches behind where I'm setting up to hit. So this tee over to the stick and the noodle is about 24 inches behind. Now, watch what happens when I now start to combine the two. Your swing will really start looking good, like a tour swing. So I want you to film yourself while you do this. First slowly, of course. 10%, 20%, smaller to bigger. Now watch this. Small first. Under the noodle. And slide and lift. Under the noodle. Slide and lift. Under the noodle. Slide and lift. Just like that. Now I've just done some very slow, easy swings. All you're trying to do here is do enough repetitions to where you can start to feel one flowing motion. Rather than pieces to the puzzle, you do it slowly and you do it over and over and over again, so you're not thinking about individual parts, but rather a flow that you could close your eyes and your body will move back and forth, and you can picture the club moving correctly without being paralysis by analysis. So let's do one more set, a little bit bigger and freer. Here we go. So now you can see on the replay there, you can see not only am I keeping my posture, but my swing, my club is really getting on plane now. It's not going over the top, so my hand path is staying shallower, not too steep, staying under the noodle, and the club is forced to shallow as well. And so it's going to come in shallow from the inside, come around and square up right at the ball. This is going to be the best way that you can hit it both long and straight once you get this down and you're able to do it faster and faster. Now, same procedure if you were going to hit a golf ball. So if you have maybe you have a net at home, maybe you were lucky enough to have a simulator, or you can figure out how to set this up at the range, but I'd really recommend that you have some kind of net or screen set up at home so you can practice drills like this. If you really want to get better, that's a great, inexpensive way to go. So I'm just going to do that soft, easy swing here under the noodle, staying back on the chair. Slide and lift the chair off the ground if I can. Just some nice, easy 1/2 to 3/4 swings. Now, if you want to practice this with a driver, you can. Of course, you've got to move the chair back to give yourself more space for the longer shaft, but you're also going to set the stick if you're putting that in the grass. So you've got a doohickey like I do. I like to put a noodle on there too to protect the graphite shaft. You might want to at first because you don't want to break the shaft on that fiberglass stick. But you do the same idea, getting a good setup here. And watch, I'm just going to go easy. I'm going to concentrate on staying under the noodle while sliding and lifting the chair off the ground with my left butt cheek. And I'm going to really concentrate on rotating towards the fairway as I do that. So this is the combo drill. Both halves of the drill. You see I'm swinging to balance, and I'm just doing this over and over again. You could also do, I like to call the sprinkler drill, where you just go back and forth like this. And this is a great way to memorize the shape of a good golf swing, one that's going to hit you way more distance and tons more accuracy. You won't even believe how much like a tour pro you start to look when you put these two halves of the drill together and get very fluent at them. And doing these two halves of the drill is, like I said, it makes you swing like a tour pro, because the constraints are set up to force you to move the same way your favorite golfers on TV tend to move. So I strongly urge you to give this drill a try, this combo drill. You start with drill 1A, swing under the noodle, 1B. Practice this at home religiously every day for a couple minutes. Say 2 minutes of swinging under this, 2 minutes of swinging while keeping the butt back, and then bring them together, and 2 minutes with ever increasing speed swings. Do the combo of the two, and you're going to see big time results coming up in your future. Now from this up the fairway view, back looking towards the tee box, you can see the setup again. I want to show you kind of a bonus tip. All I want you to do is add one more detail, and that is to get this thing to go around to the left like this. I want you to get this thing really cutting around a tight circle around your left thigh and your left hip, moving into low left field like that. So again, you'll follow the same principles. First, no ball, try an iron first, and just little swings here, back and forth like this. So once you can get that club coming under the noodle, so it's coming in shallow from the inside, and then get it to turn the corner for you, what it's going to enable you to do is reduce the amount of face closure through the impact zone. The club is going to square itself up so beautifully with the target at impact that you're not going to need to manipulate it closed in any way, and you're just going to hit laser-like iron shots and drives, and you're going to feel super consistent for maybe the first time in your career. So hey, give this a try. Let me know how you do. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. I try to answer all the good questions that you guys ask. And I have one question for you. I want to know, what topic would you like to see me do a video on next? Also leave that down in the comments below. If you got value out of this video, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way to pushing this video out to more golfers who need help. Check out my website, hititlonger.com. YouTube is not the end of your golf journey. If you need even more help, don't forget I do in-person coaching, FaceTime lessons, and video analysis through my website, hititlonger.com. Get started over there today with lots of great articles and videos, and maybe sign up for some of the exclusive content and discounts on the swing analysis. Thanks for watching all the way through to the end, and if I don't see you in the next video, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.